Hi guys, welcome back to the Drive Life channel. In today's video we have excellent news indeed. The S80 is back. You might notice it's not at Drive Life HQ, it's in a random car park on my way home from work because we have fixed the S80 after 2 weeks. Really it was only 2 days of trying. We had my dad and my godfather came over twice, 2 Saturdays, to help me with this thing. First one was unsuccessful, but the second one we got it, and she's back in action. So let me show you what the issues was, and I'll talk you through issues were. That's awful English, isn't it? And then I'll talk you through what we had to do to fix. As you can see, it's had a clean because it was left for 2 weeks on the drive, unable to run. The least it deserved after being revived was a good clean. So here we are. There's a bit of water coming out the seal there. Currently doesn't have an under tray because I removed the under tray to get to the bottom of the engine to get it back in the right direction, and it was in awful condition. It really wasn't an under tray. All we had was sort of a hollow frame where all the fixing points were, and the middle had just been bashed out previously from previous owners. I've never really been under there to check it because I do the oil extraction method for oil changes. I've never really taken it off to have a proper look at it, so that's gone, and I'm actually going to replace that, but that's going to be for a future video because I think we're going to beast this thing up a bit. So yes, let's take a look at what happened then. Now you may notice as soon as I pulled this off there is something a little different, different non-OEM approach, and that's because we had to get pretty down and dirty on this thing. Start off with then, it was these two bolts here, one here and one here, that failed. Just check they're still tight. Yeah, we're all definitely still in position, and that allowed the whole engine to drop probably by about 6 inches on this side, which made a horrible noise. You obviously couldn't drive it like that, so we had to then replace it. Now the problem was the bolts were sat in the block. The top bit broken off completely, but the rest had sheared off within the block itself, which really wasn't a fun prospect. Also, it was still being held on by the bolt that was previously here. I've now replaced it. So really what we had to do, take the under tray off. We had to get a jack underneath and jack the engine up. We had to be very careful where we did it. We actually jacked it up on the sump, but we used a large sort of object to spread the weight evenly. It's the only way you can do it, really. Did it very carefully, pulled the engine up as well, and that meant that the engine was then able to get level. Now the way we could tell whether it was level or not was because we removed this bolt, this bracket released, and went back to where it should be. We then jacked up the engine to sort of get it where we needed it to. We then removed this upper torque mount here, this bracket, and then the lower engine mount underneath there, so that we had space to work, because this bolt goes down into the block inside where the cam belt is. So it's, well, you can't see it, but it's down in here, so you had to remove all of this, including the coolant reservoir as well. Hence why we've got some lovely fresh coolant in there, to get to the bolts, especially if we were trying to drill them out. So first Saturday was all about getting all this off, and then trying to attack this bolt. Now unfortunately this bolt was so damaged and distorted we couldn't remove it properly, so we had to drill it, which was a little bit concerning, probably not the ideal. We tried bolt extractors, we tried everything, we just couldn't get it out. It cross-threaded as it sort of shaken loose and sheared, and almost become part of the block itself, so we had to drill down through. Fortunately, as it had started to work its way out, there was some thread available at the bottom. So what we've done is we've used a longer bolt, hence the non-Volvo bolt here, same rating at 8.8 in tensile strength, and we've gone deeper into the threads. Now on older cars that's obviously used the same block, they had longer bolts, so we were very lucky in the fact that we were able to use that. We used a tapper to clean out the threads, so it was all nice and safe, and we managed to get that bolt in. That was this Saturday just gone, but the first Saturday was really just getting all of that off and fighting with this, trying our best not to have to drill it. So that was that bolt. This second bolt was then actually came out really easily with the bolt extractors. We were very lucky with that one. We soaked it in WD-40 for a number of weeks, and yeah, as you can see, she is back in action. So how much did it cost me to fix all of this? Well, it cost me just £16, which I'm really happy about. I was concerned that, you know, any sort of Volvo dealer or Volvo specialist would have said that needs to be an engine out job, or that was just something A, that is never meant to happen, has never happened probably, and B, would only be a nightmare to fix. It's not designed to happen. So I think we did very well indeed, if I say so myself, to get this thing back on the road. So like I said, it's done a drive to work. I've been driving it about as well beforehand, and I can safely say it actually is better than it was before. I think, I've got a slight confession to make. I think actually the bolt sheared, because I didn't line the engine back up properly when we had the whole debacle of the breakdown last year. So the bolts actually managed to last 30,000 miles with the engine and everything not in line. So that's the reason it happened. It's my own fault, and you know, these things happen, but the result is that I've now managed to fix my previous error despite having a near catastrophic failure, and the S80 is good to go again. So 125,000 miles, she's got plenty of life left in her. Now, I had talked about selling this car when the breakdown happened. It was all sort of, it was a highly emotional time, and I didn't know what I was going to do once I got it fixed. I knew obviously I had to get it fixed if it was going to be worth anything, but jury's still out on whether we'll keep this or replace it with another Volvo. But for now, it is running exceptionally well. We've got a slight noise coming from the front left suspension. I'm obviously slightly more paranoid now, trying to hear any issues that may arise as a result of the fix, but there's definitely a binding noise coming from the steering. It's probably some sort of suspension component as the left hand wheel steers. There's a slight clunk and binding noise, so I'm going to jack it up in a future video and have a look at that. But overall, I'm extremely happy with how the S80 has come out really. I think the plan is, if I do keep it, is to finally treat it a bit better, get it a new set of wheels, get these ones refurbished. It's had all the mechanical love, but it's obviously been pretty hard, had a pretty hard life, and I've got a friend to come speak to me. Okay then, yeah, so a bit of a abrupt cut off there, the friend that came and said hello, but yeah, as you can see, the S80 is completely back in action. If we put our foot down here, pulls like a train still. She's back in action. So yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next video. Oh, give me your thoughts. What, should I sell it or should I spend a load of money on it? That's essentially the two options. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Cheers.